Good evening, everybody. We'll go ahead and call the April school board meeting, April 4th. We could go ahead and call the roll.
Okay. Colonel Smith.
Here.
Daniel Gray.
Here.
Ava Coleman.
Present.
Jim Moore present. Ron McDaniel.
Present.
Dina Tony. They got your name Tony on here.
That's right.
Okay.
We just not saying it.
I thought we had a new person.
No, it's okay.
Lauren Martin.
Here.
Laura Walker.
Here.
All present.
All right, if you'll join me as we stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome everybody. First thing on our agenda here is not on our agenda, but we have a recognition. I'd like to recognize our master school board member, presented to Miss Ava Coleman, for earning at least 50 hours of board development training, Arkansas School Board Association 2022. All right. Picture, we gotta get a picture. All right. Make us proud, Ava. Glad everybody returned safe from your trip to Tampa. Look a little bronzed.
I need a vacation.
You did a good job.
Thank you. I brought them back in one piece.
All right.
You couldn't leave them down there?
Why is everybody so far back today? Bunch of Baptists back there. Mr. Richardson, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
You're first up.
All right.
Come on down.
As far as regular business, I don't have much change.
Okay. Yep. You're good now.
As far as regular business, I don't have anything different from last month, but I was asking questions about sick leave. Well, here ready to answer some questions about, I guess, particularly catastrophic sick leave. And I'm not sure where you want me to go with it. I can give you an overview of what's in place. And currently, employees are allowed to accrue up to 90 hours consistent with state law, and they can carry that over year to year. You have a catastrophic leave bank that if employees exceed their 90 hours of, or whatever their accumulated sick leave is, for long-term employees, it may be the 90 hours that they have available to them. If they're newer, there's probably less. But your bank, I think, it has some allocation how long you do with the district. If you're doing the allocation, people have to donate to the bank in order to withdraw from the bank. You have to be a member of the bank to have donated to the bank in order to withdraw from the bank. So it's kind of a pay to play. And I think that's an inducement to try and encourage employees to donate leave to the bank, which, as I spoke to your administrators, seems to be a little bit of an issue with it. Having people give up that time to donate to the bank so that catastrophic leave is available. I don't think it's terribly unusual in the first few years of having a catastrophic leave bank. I think a lot of times these get their hours by employees who are coming to the end of their contract year who are exceeding their 90 hours and go ahead and push their excess into it. So that gets used as opposed to just them having to lose those sick time hours. So you have a good program in place for employees to, if they need the catastrophic leave, to take it, assuming that they've donated. I don't know, is that helpful? What else can I do?
It is, I guess, one of my questions is how do we as a district get, and this may be Jeremy, get the word out to those people, or to just every employee that, because obviously our teachers that have been with us, or employees that have been with us longer, have built up hours. So like new
Sure.
teachers, is that something that we publicize?
We do. One thing that I've started doing this school year is every time you all take action, the staff gets a briefing the next day on Tuesday of all actions that have been taken. So we did advertise that. But Ms. Fulmer is here too. I don't want to call her on the carpet, but she serves on the licensed PPC, and they actually send the minutes and updates as well to the entire staff. And so, and I know Dr. Walker has also mentioned it, the principals have mentioned it to all of our staff members, because we have it for both licensed and classified. And so, but like Mr. Richardson said, some, they don't realize, the idea of a sick bank is great, but then they don't realize they have to initially put some in to be able to take out. And that's only to be fair across the board. And then it goes to the committee to review the circumstances on which they would like to withdraw from the sick bank.
Okay, so I don't know, for one particular person that I'm asking about, I don't know how long she's been with the district, and I apologize, I could probably find out real quick, but I don't know how long she's been with us, but, I'm just trying to figure out if we're allowed to make an exception. If she hasn't donated yet, if there is a way that we can make an exception, because, this young lady has cancer and, has chemo, I think, and makes her sick. She misses a lot of work, and she doesn't want to. She wants to work for us. She wants to do her, she hates that she misses so much. And I, as a board member, want to see that. I don't want it to get into the point that it can be abused, but I know that there are exceptions. There's got to be. So I just don't know what kind of playing room we have that we could do that.
It's a hard situation. These are always difficult to deal with. But as I read the policy as the board has set it up, it's the committee that makes decisions on who may withdraw, and the board that sets standards for when that can happen and who may participate. I'm not sure, there might be some way she could fit that. I don't know, but it might be good to connect her, or maybe for you to connect with Ms. Logan, or I think Dr. Walker's had some involvement in it, and be able to talk about some of those individual circumstances and see if something can be done.
Well, and I know that there are some people that work for our district that want to donate to her, but they don't know how, and they can't, is there a way, and I don't know if this is even possible, but is there a way that, if Jeremy wants to give Erica 2 sick days or whatever, is she allowed to do that, or it has to go through this bank?
Well, I don't see an opportunity in the policies, unless it's a husband and wife,
Right.
to share sick leave. And that's generally consistent with employment practices. Normally you don't do that. But the catastrophic bank is a way, and we assume that everybody acts with good intentions and principles, but
Right, and that's the thing.
items like that can make some opportunities for people misusing the system.
How many people are participating in the bank?
I'm not-
Do we have a percentage, or do we keep track of that, or?
No one at this point.
So nobody is committed to the bank, so the PPC is the committee that hears that?
So, but if we have people that do want to contribute, maybe they just need to be connected with the bank system.
Yeah, they just need to reach out to their
Yeah.
PPC group. So
Is there-
licensed
a minimum that you have to contribute before you can, like, say, the person that does need to benefit from it, if she can contribute an hour, so I don't know, it's like an
Day.
hour a day or something, then she can qualify to withdraw more?
There's criteria. Scott, do you have that?
Yeah, I have the policy.
I'm a little concerned we're getting into a personnel issue that's very, very specific. That's something we should not be talking about as a board. My suggestion is if nobody is participating in the district, maybe the PPC committee needs to meet and those people that want to donate on her behalf start it,
Yeah.
and then they can allow her to participate in it. And we've got a policy in place. It doesn't sound like it's being used yet. My suggestion is that they get to use it, and we don't need to talk about it anymore.
I mean,
On an individual level.
It's good sometimes to the board member to connect your constituents with people in the district who can help them too. And so that was why I mentioned Ms. Logan or Dr. Walker, who had some direct involvement, or even Dr. Walker would be happy to help.
Mhm.
And maybe a discussion could be facilitated there to try and get some answers to these individual questions. But,
Yeah, I wish I would have known this a month ago, because we've now wasted a month. It's not your fault, because I know it surprised you. But if this is what, if any, like Jeremy, if you had any idea that this was gonna happen, or Erica, when I was asking about it, I wish I would have known, because we just wasted a month.
Well,
We could have maybe been working on it. And
I, well, I
know it's
mentioned
because
the
we're
sick,
late,
well, and I mentioned the sick bank, what we currently have.
but that's
but-
only for husband and wife.
No, ma'am. That's one different policy. The other policy was the sick bank that we had, which is another policy that people would have to, but there's a criteria. And when we first talked about it, that's what we talked about, that she would have to contribute first in order for her to be able to participate in it.
Okay, so
And
that's,
because she hasn't, there was no way that, because that was policy that's in place. And so we were following the policy that was in place.
okay, so dumb question, going off of what Lauren said, she donates, I mean, she just, she knows you probably, I mean, obviously, I guess she's out, but, and I don't know how we accrue, I don't remember, but, she donates 2 hours, does that make her official that she's in there, or a
So
day?
it's like a minimum of a day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just, and we can.
But if
talk about
nobody has
this.
donated any, there's nothing in the bank.
No, that's the catastrophic, I'm talking about the
Oh.
sick leave one.
no,
Sorry.
because
Dr.
I'm sorry,
Walker?
let me break it down just a little bit. So there's sick leave that employees normally accrue, and normally you can't share that. Husbands and wives are allowed by statute to share their sick leave, but outside husbands and wives, I don't think there's any sharing of sick leave. The district, in trying to address like a situation that you brought up, has established a catastrophic leave bank by which employees can donate their excess leave, accrued leave, to the bank. And then employees that need it can pull from it. To the extent there's leave available in it, to have extra leave beyond what their accumulated leave. There's other laws and protections as well that go into this. We talk about family medical leave, and some other laws that could provide some relief there. So what I understand to be talking about is, how does she participate in the catastrophic leave bank?
Well, there's nothing in there then.
Right, and the board's policy is you have to donate in order to withdraw from it, but people need to put leave time in order for people to be able to pull leave time out. There's no donations to this point, is what I'm understanding. And so even if she did participate, the only leave that'd be in there would be what she donated, unless she can convince some other people to donate time to that leave bank, and then she can withdraw from it. So to me, it sounds like more of a policy position, and more of an administrative HR issue of trying to deal with the employees and coordinate their efforts and get them to donate to the bank, so that then this employee would have something available for her to draw on. Is that clear?
So Scott, if she put 2 hours in there, that's all she could get out. Is that what I'm hearing? And if someone else put
No,
12 hours in there, then she couldn't get that 12 hours?
I don't believe that it works that way.
It's policy 3.9,
Right.
and
But in order to withdraw, she has to apply to the committee that oversees it, and then they will approve what leave will come out and whether or not they'll be entitled to leave.
Apply for, or is
She would be eligible for,
However,
she would be eligible for whatever the committee determined she would.
Yeah, I just want to clarify.
But if, this might be a good, platform for the district and employees and the PPC committee to stress that this exists, and it, could be a way for the employees to learn about it and go ahead and opt in.
And when you're talking about excess leave, you're talking about over 90 hours, or could it be up to 90 hours?
Excess leave would be leave that people have accrued above 90 hours in a year. And so you can't, the district policy, consistent with state law, allows you to carry over 90 hours of sick leave per year. So if you come to the end of the school year and you have 95 hours, you lose that excess 5 hours of leave. And that's an easy sell usually for people to donate, because you can lose that 5 hours or you can donate to the bank. And so a lot of people will just bank it to keep that going. But the district may, I don't know how many employees you've got, but, 90 hours.
now, there is one list item in here. So if a member is leaving the profession or retiring, he or she may donate any of the unused days to the sick leave bank. Other than that, there's a criteria of how many days that can be donated per year. For example, membership year 1 is 2 days, year 2 is 1 day, and then year 3 is none unless a reassessment is required due to low sick leave bank balance. But that's the length. I mean, the rest of the criteria is lengthy, but there's a certain criteria that members would have to follow to donate, and then the eligibility for withdrawal and leave as well. So and just so that we're clear, I thought the question that we were posed with was just if employees could donate to a particular person, after we talked about the policy in the sick leave bank. And that's what we were trying to figure out, is that if employee A could donate to employee B, if employee B was out of sick leave, is that permissible? Was that the wrong?
No, that's wow.
Okay. I don't believe so, but if they can donate to the bank with the anticipation they know somebody who needs leave and who's applying for leave to try and support them. I would note, members can withdraw up to 35 days from the bank. The bank can get you up to 35 days of additional leave if approved.
If there's some in there.
And if there's, because the policy does not allow the bank to go into the negative.
Okay.
Was there anything that we can look at, or what would be the steps?
So I have a question. When an employee abandons their job position, what happens with those?
Legally, those days belong to the employee. The employee would have to actually make an effort to donate those to the sick leave. So if someone leaves us, we can't
Is
take
there
those
some
away.
sort of like form we can put together, and then it's just a matter of them like signing it over to the bank, or is that a possibility?
I think that's a possibility. I think the problem you'll run into with the
What
job
we'll do or not.
abandonment is they're sort of done talking to the district at that point.
All right. Well, I think we've got some direction as far as what the next step ought to be. Okay. Any other questions not related to sick leave for Mr. Richardson?
Legal question.
Legal question. Very good. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
All right. Next contestant, facilities update. WER, Mr. Matthew, Baldwin and Shell. Come on down. Good evening.
Good evening. How are we all this evening?
All right, you got some support there then, ain't you?
There's not too much to report from the architect standpoint of this. We do have groundbreaking this Thursday and next Thursday with the new school, so sure we will see you all there and hopefully see a lot of you public. So that'll be good. Both those are
10 a.m. on the sites, correct? Weather permitting. Are we going to change if it's pouring down rain? Tent set up, okay. Rain or shine? Okay.
I'd bring your boots either way.
Yeah. Matthew, I actually do have a question, and you may not know the answer. And just regarding the high school, our track and the field, it's come to my attention that we have not hosted or we're not practicing shot put or discus, so we can't host any meets. And I know when we designed the facility and built it, that hosting state tournaments and things of that nature was a priority for the district. And we've got a very expensive facility that we're very, very proud of. And we want to host things. So is there a solution in the works as far as creating a place to do shot put and discus and all that kind of stuff?
So we've looked at some places where we could put the shot put and the discus. We've been looking at those spots since 2019. We've suggested a couple spots, but it hasn't gone any further than that.
Well, I wasn't aware of the problem until like this week. So how do we expedite this solution? And I'm blindsiding everybody here. So
Can we get a quote on that first?
We can prepare some.
yeah, can we, if we could do that? I mean, I don't know what it takes to, I don't know what that is. And then is there not something we could put on top of the field to protect the turf, to not mess with the warranty?
My understanding is that the field, the outdoor stuff that you throw, hits the field and damages the pad underneath, which can void your warranty. And that's going to be true for almost any turf that you find out there. So that's an issue with that. The shot put and the discus, I think there's some room to do those on that site. It's the javelin that'll be more problematic.
I could see how that would damage the turf.
So that's one that we'll have to sort of figure out how you could do the javelin if you were going to do that with the state tournament.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not speaking for the board, but if anybody has a different opinion, please speak up. But I think that's something if we can get some options and decide whether to move forward or not. But I think that's, if we're competing in track, I don't even know how they're practicing. I mean, I guess we're not competing in those events or what, but it's hard to go to a track meet and not do certain events.
We definitely have the scholars who can compete. In fact, this is probably one of our largest track and field teams that we've had this year since we've been a district. So we definitely have the capability and scholars to do it.
I think we need to pursue that. Get a study, tell us where, how much.
And if you've got some ideas that have been out there, if you could
We'll just
expedite this,
we'll get them up as long as
email out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into them much.
And we have the old high school field. Can
Well,
we
we're
use
going to
that
host a meet
temporary,
or a state tournament.
temporarily
Sure.
when we practice? Is that someplace that we could?
Maybe they
use?
are. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they already are.
That's one of my questions, but kind of bounced off him for the javelin is concerned. Can that one be off-site or does it all have to be?
Those are great questions. I don't know if AAA has exceptions for the javelin, and I don't know if that's at every. Sure, we can. I think Barry can work on that.
he can, yeah, well, I'll definitely follow up. But when you think about a track meet, you have multiple scholars in multiple heats. And so, and they leave one heat to go to the next. And so that could pose the issue if they're leaving off site, just for that particular, competition.
Maybe outside the gate of the field to go somewhere on campus.
What all the regulations were, so we can get that into it.
Okay.
Jim just whispered in my ear that you got a parking lot out there.
It's gotta be flat though.
Well, flatten it out.
And the javelin has credit. Has to go in.
Yeah, it's gotta be in grass.
Strike it.
Well, the other question I had when this discussion was up was, how long is our current warranty on the turf for? Do we remember? Is that a 10-year or is it a 5-year? Because if it's 5 years, we're almost there.
Boy, I don't wanna answer. I wanna say 7, but I think it's between 5 and 10.
Okay. And I guess when you're designing these fields and schools for other, is it just the site, there's a bigger site and those things
There's
are off
usually
on the side or?
There's usually a bigger site that we can put those things together.
Okay. Well, I was a little, I'll be honest with you, I was a little, disappointed that this wasn't, we should have known about that on our site. I mean, this was discussed many, many times about hosting events, and the whole gymnasium was redesigned for that purpose, to ensure we could. So I know track was mentioned, so, let's just see what we come up with then.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? How about our, middle school, update?
Middle school edition's still going well. RTU 6 is still on schedule. That's kind of the big ticket item that we're waiting on. It's supposed to ship on the 12th. We should have it next week. Everything goes well. 2 weeks after, we'll have it all set and put in place and operational. Everything else is going well. We're doing site concrete probably this week, weather pending on the sidewalks, et cetera. Inside, we're running our first level of punches. We're pretty well finished for everything. We still got a little bit on the outside, a little bit of small miscellaneous stuff here and there, but we're taking schedule very, very well on that. It's a rare job.
And the elementary sites, are y'all doing grading? So I haven't been by. Oh, wow. Both the
Yeah.
elementary sites are
They're
rolling.
starting the grading on the.
Merle Taylor and Baumia have both been started. They're clearing drubbing and working on undercut. Merle Taylor, I don't have a whole lot of information on that.
Did we get our storage building figured out what we were doing with over on Merle Taylor? Our
Oh,
surprise
the-
building we inherited?
Oh, I think that's
Yeah,
gone.
it's gone.
Is that
Yeah.
Bobby's Playhouse?
Yeah.
We're talking Bobby's Playhouse?
I couldn't get him to stay out of it.
Yeah, I think they got that. The biometers in the same boat. We're out on site, excavating, moving the way in, getting everything prepped for the groundbreaking Thursday. Any other questions on those? That I may or may not have answered.
Well, we'll see you out there Thursday.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Sorry to be so rough tonight.
You're fine.
All right, superintendent's report, Dr. O.
Yes, a few things. I just publicly want to say thank you to Dr. Cleveland with Springdale School District and Dr. Karen Waters from Bryan School District. They did reach out to me yesterday and today and offer their support for our families and students. In fact, Dr. Cleveland is going to send 2 truckloads of non-perishable items for us to donate to or pass out, distribute to our families. And so just wanted to publicly recognize them and let you all know that they're reaching out. And then, yes, Cabot School District, of course, our baseball team is up there now, hopefully going to get a win, but they did reach out and offer their facilities for our use as well. And so definitely appreciate all the support. Secretary Oliva also contacted the school district over the weekend and just offered his support as well. Next, we have a special presentation from City Year. We have Executive Director Jennifer Cobb, and she has a team with her, but I'll let her introduce.
Hi, everybody.
Okay. I'll just stand real close to it. How's that? All right. I do have a team with me. Jeremy Hill and Marquita Rogers. Jeremy is Chief of Staff, and Marquita is our Director of Development. She also lives in Jacksonville and graduated from North Pulaski back in the day, so she is of the community. Oh, great. Okay. Are you going to drive for me, Dr. Owen?
I am.
Awesome. Okay. Dr. Owa asked me to be here tonight. I believe a few of you were in the room when we kicked off Jacksonville Reads, and I gave a short rah-rah and even did some cheers. I will not do those this evening. However, I did want to tell you a little bit about who we are, City Year, and what our vision is for a partnership with Jacksonville North Pulaski. We are one of 29 sites. We can go to the next slide. One of 29 sites. City Year Little Rock was founded almost 20 years ago in 2004. There are, okay, there we go.
Sorry.
There are 29 sites, and we are in over 340 schools all over the country. What I've been taught as the new executive director and senior vice president is nationally aligned and locally relevant. And I want to let you know that we're not here to bring new curriculum. We are here to integrate ourselves into the great work that scholars and staff and principals in the district are already doing. We do bring the firepower of a national network that has research and experts, and we bring a proven program that will boost literacy and math skills, improve attendance rates, and decrease behavior. Those are our issues, not issues. Those are the areas where we work. Next slide, there we go. City Year Corps members don't just serve during school hours. They're there before the first bell, and they're often the last to leave the building. They serve all day, every day, in classrooms, doing push-ins and pull-outs for small groups, and then they also run after-school programs where they get extra tutoring and mentoring in. The Corps members that we're looking for are ages 17 to 25. They have a high school diploma or a GED, or they could be taking a break from college, or they could be in between college and grad school. This is a full-time job. You can do asynchronous courses and some night courses, but it's more than it's more than 40 hours a week. So we don't encourage our Corps members to be trying to pursue a degree full-time while they're working with us. They earn a biweekly living stipend of $2,000. They earn an education award of $6,500, and that is to be used for their future education, or if they already have that bachelor's degree or a 2-year degree, they can pay off student loans. They get paid health insurance, vacation policy. We find them an individual mentor in the career path that they're interested in, and we pour 350 hours of professional development and learning into them. I love the work that we do in K through schools with our scholars and in the classroom. However, these Corps members have my heart. It is so much fun to watch them come in at the beginning of the year and stretch and grow and push and connect with their students and make an impact and begin to see the light for themselves and the path for themselves. It could be because I'm the mother of young adults, but I really get my energy from being around them. And we are having a good time at Jacksonville High School recruiting local students and upcoming graduates, hopefully to serve on a team in Jacksonville next year. Dr. Owell wanted me to share this video with you. It's one of my favorites, and it's the best way to show you what we do. So for 3 minutes, if you could direct your attention to the screen.
I have a question while he fumbles with that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
If it starts, I'll stop talking.
Okay.
But how many adult, what do they call
Corps
it?
members?
How many Corps members
Yeah.
are we allowed to have at the high school?
They're official. So our sweet spot is elementary and middle school. We are recruiting from Jacksonville High School so that kids who graduate in May, who may need to take a gap year, or they need to earn some money for college, or they're not quite sure what they want to do, they could come serve on the team that we're hoping to have in place at one of the elementary schools or one of the middle schools next year. Right now, we have 23 core members in service in 4 schools in Little Rock. We are growing to 6 schools next year in Little Rock, and we would like to grow to at least 1 with y'all's seal of approval. Okay. Do you want, I can send a YouTube link for you to share with everyone afterwards, because it's heartwarming. It's a day in the life of a core member, and you see her waking up in the morning and interacting with her students, and it's a really beautiful way to see service in action. So I'll make sure that you get that YouTube link.
You want to play it off your phone on the link?
So,
This is why I bring a team. Question?
so how, do they work just the school year?
They do work the school year. We call it a city year. And they work with a partner teacher. They are not teachers, they are partners. And they each core member carries a focus list of 12 to 15 students in attendance, behavior, and course grades. So they choose literacy or math. So they have 3 focus lists of 12 to 15 kids. And they in the mornings, they're greeting the school buses, they're opening doors, they're getting folks out of the carpool line, they're saying hello, they're building a whole school culture with their smiles and their presence and their consistent red jackets. And I should have brought my, Marquita, do you have one? Marquita has on a red jacket. And so then they go into the schools, they do what's called push-ins, which is the teacher gives instructions, and the core members then walk around, connect with the students, make sure individual students are understanding the lessons. It helps teachers differentiate learning a little bit better because she's got an extra set of hands, an extra brain, an extra heart in the classroom serving scholars. And then on attendance, this is a beautiful story I just heard, but one of our scholars in our elementary school where we serve was having a hard time getting to getting to school. She doesn't drive, right? This is a parent issue, but she was having a difficult time getting to school. And so her core member challenged her, and she said, well, you know how to set an alarm? And the little girl said, yes. She said, you know how to get yourself ready in the morning? The little girl said, yes. And so they made a plan. The little girl was going to get herself up, was going to get herself ready for school, and then she was going to wake her mom up with plenty of time. And by goodness, by just empowering that child to have a little bit of control and a little bit more responsibility, her attendance has really gone up, and she's been at school on time. And so it's just those little extra touches of looking kids in the eye, helping them make a plan, helping them rewrite the stories that perhaps they've been told about themselves, believing in them and telling them that they can succeed. So that's attendance and a little bit of the behavior. The behavior check-ins are, keeping those engines down, as one of our impact managers likes to say, and taking kids for a walk when they might get a little agitated, and just trying to keep them out of the principal's office so the administrative team can do their work and not become disciplinarians.
I think we have the YouTube.
Outstanding. Meet Rebecca Brunson.
I am from Fayetteville, North Carolina, go Tigers. I grew up in a dual military household, so my whole life I was surrounded by people who were committed to service and committed to doing better. I do this every day because I want kids to believe in themselves, and because I believe so much in youth and youth of color, in their ability to succeed. I want to make sure that with every tool that I've been given, I pour back into my family and pour back into my people and pour back into children. I went to college in Boston, Massachusetts at Emerson College. I studied theater and performance and music history.
Technology.
Well, I will keep rolling and hopefully give y'all some more information that may answer some of the questions that are popping up for you, if that's okay.
So you provide 350 hours of training?
Correct.
Does that relate to college credit hours or anything, or is it just?
It does not right now. but we share a vision. There are a lot of sites around the country who have partnerships with 2-year and 4-year colleges. For example, in Orlando, you can come into City of Orlando with a 2-year degree, serve for 2 years, take concurrent classes with University of Central Florida, and after 2 years of service, you've earned $12,000 and you've also gotten your 4-year degree. So we are working on partnerships like that. We have had a lot of discussions with teacher prep programs about doing that. So the way that we work is we provide additional capacity in the classroom. We do one-on-one and small group academic and social emotional support. We do extended day activities either in the schools or with boys and girls clubs, big brothers, big sisters, wherever the students need to be after school in order to get some extra tutoring and some extra interaction. Who do we have a back?
Yes.
Awesome.
Super passionate about the arts, and especially arts in a socio-political stance, and the way the arts can be used to change the world and start important conversations. Because this was such a unique year, I'm prepared to be in education for any other year that comes, because this is so different and so challenging. But even though it's been a challenge for me, I can't even imagine how difficult it is being like 12, 13, 14 years old in the midst of a pandemic. It has been difficult not being able to give my kids a high five and having to switch to an elbow bump. Or when kids want to come up to me and hug me, I have to say I can't hug you. But just making sure that even though I can't do those things, I'm like giving them a hug in another way. Like telling them, I believe in you, I support you, I know that you can do this. In the mornings, we as a team go to the gym and take part in some morning tutoring. That's one of my favorite ways that we get to interact with students in the morning before they go off to their class and before they get stressed by the day, so we can just bring that positivity to them that way. Middle school is a really important time for kids, I feel like, and it was especially an important time for me. So I want to make sure that while they're going through a lot of changes, while they're trying to figure out who they are, they have a constant support system. That's what gets me up every morning. That's what keeps me inspired, and that's what keeps me doing what I do. Good morning.
I know I'm doing better in class because Miss Rebecca helped me with a lot of my work, and grades just went up since she's been here.
She doesn't give us the answer. She helps us to make it more easier for us and breaks it down. It makes me feel happy because I know that with the 2 years here, I won't fail or be stressed about any of my work.
I arrive at Naperville Middle School every morning around 7:40, and I don't leave until 5:45, and that's after going into another tutoring session with students after school. So all day, I'm providing support to students and working to become a better student here. I feel tired at the end of every day, but that's because I know that I did all the things that I could to support my students, and it's a good tired.
She said it better than I could explain it. A team at a school is typically 5 to 7 core members, including a team leader who is a second-year core member who's done it before, and an impact manager who's a full-time staff member. And that full-time staff member manages the team and is also the principal's primary contact and keeps that relationship going strong. We focus, I told you, on attendance, behavior, and coursework. Some of the data from the Everyone Graduates Center at Johns Hopkins, and these are 40-page reports. I'm really happy to share them with anyone who wants to read about education policy. But here are some key learnings. In terms of attendance, a city or team provides additional 15,700 learning hours for students in both increased student attendance and through after-school programs. In terms of behavior, students who work with a city year team and are tutored by city year core members have improved emotional, social, and academic outcomes. The social and emotional piece has a direct link to academic performance. If you feel secure, if you feel seen, if you feel heard, if you feel safe, you're going to be able to focus on learning. Coursework, our LRSD students who are tutored by City Year, this is based on ACT Aspire scores from right before the pandemic, 2019, 2020. Students that we worked with, that we've tutored, improved ACT Aspire scores by 9 percentage points in math and by 7 percentage points in literacy. So we know this works. We've got Johns Hopkins research on the one hand, and we've got in the trenches proof from more than 20 years of serving in the Little Rock School District, almost 20 years. We serve right now in 4 schools. We have 26 core members. 67% of them are core members of color. Dr. O, if you could flip forward a couple. One more. Here we are. 35% of them are college graduates. The other 2/3 either came to us straight out of high school or they're taking a break from college. So we differentiate our training and instruction. Mr. McDaniel, you asked about those 350 hours of instruction. We get them for 3 weeks before we deploy them into schools. We work with the district to help them understand the reading curriculum and the math curriculum. We do a lot of teaching on coaching, administering DESA. We teach them the interventions and we teach them how to be student success coaches. Then we have them every other Friday for a full day of learning and development. That first semester, we focus on the work they're doing in schools. After Christmas, we continue to do that, but we also take a turn toward Life After City Year. And we really start giving them some professional development and exposing them to new careers and career paths so that when they graduate from City Year, they know themselves better than they did when they came to us, and they have a career path and they know their next steps. 70% of our core members indicate interest in teaching, social work, and counseling. And we've found that those that move here from out of state often stay and become teachers in the districts where they serve at City Year. Our progress for this year, remember that we have, right now, we're at 23 core members, 364 unique students, so we're not double counting on that, are on focus lists. 3,000 students have access to a City Year because 3,000 students are across our 4 schools. So they see red jackets and get some sort of touch and energy and culture piece from our core members. Our core members have logged 145,000 minutes of intervention, whether it's mentoring, tutoring, taking a walk, talking, calling home to see where a child is and how you can boost attendance. All of that counts as minutes of intervention. We have 149 students receiving just behavioral intervention. And we do that by administering a DESA test, not Odessa, like Texas, ADESA. I'm not an educator, so I have to learn these things. And then we have an entrance and then an exit, and we do observations with that student to watch their behavior. And then in terms of our core, we require that everyone sign up for and participate in financial literacy training. We're on track to have 95% of our core complete that training, so they'll know how to balance a checkbook, open a checking account, build their credit, all of those types of things. And then I'm really, really proud of this next statistic. 85% of the core members serving with us right now are coming back next year. So that means we will have 15 core members deployed into schools who've done this before. So I'm really looking forward to that. Plus, I love them. I don't want to let them go. Our strategic goals, just so you know, we are thinking about the future. As I said, we will expand in Little Rock to serve 6 schools. We hope to partner with Jacksonville North Pulaski to serve in up to 2 schools. We want to ensure a team size of 5 to 7 core members to have sufficient impact. We've found that's really the sweet spot. And so 7 times 7 is 42. We're looking to recruit 42 core members. In the green, we will really focus on our whole school, whole child and our tier 2 intervention. So providing one-on-one and small group literacy intervention, supporting consistent high quality after school programming, and formalizing mentorship and career pathway programs for our core members. In terms of our site management, we're working on rebuilding our donor base after COVID. It was hit pretty hard because we couldn't have events for 3 years. So we're working back up to an energized donor base where we can raise about $500,000 annually from private donors and corporations and foundations. We want to diversify our volunteer board of advisors, and we want to launch an alumni board. And we also plan to invite as many people as possible to celebrate our 20th birthday with us. I want to give you an update on recruitment and admissions because that's really what our expansion hinges on, and I've got really good news to share. Our goal for next year is 42. That would allow us to serve 7 schools with the optimum number of core members on a team. We have 15 returning AmeriCorps members confirmed. We have 6 new core members who have already accepted their invitations. That's 50% toward our goal, and we don't stop counting until July. We have 2 invitations pending, and we have 14 going through upcoming interviews. So I feel very good about our pipeline. Our recruiter, Alexis Freeman, has been visiting the high school. She's gone about 2 or 3 times now, and every time she goes, she gets more interest from that senior class. So thank you to the principal, who I think is here, for opening those doors. Now, here's what you want to know. Here's about the investment, right? We are a true public-private partnership. Our money comes to us in thirds. The total cost for one city year team is $500,000. The district investment is $135,000. The private philanthropy piece matches that at $135,000. That's my job. Y'all can help me open the doors. We'll ask for the money. And then the rest of that is covered by the AmeriCorps federal grant. So we are an AmeriCorps organization. That's who pays for the stipends. That's who pays for our health insurance for our core members. That's who takes care of the Siegel Awards. They also pay for some of the salaries for our impact staff. So it's pretty much a third, and a third. But the district investment is $135,000. Let me tell you why it's a good investment real quick, and then I'll wrap up and you can ask me questions. The next one is about staffing. We provide significant human capacity to schools. And we do it through the ways that I've already told you, through that whole class support. We conduct one-on-one and small group academic interventions. We offer after-school tutoring and mentoring. And then we lead whole school initiatives that focus on a better school climate, parent engagement, and building a culture of belonging. The other day, for example, was Pi Day, P-I Day. And every student who memorized a certain, I think like 10 digits of pi could come up and recite them to a core member and receive a balloon, pop the balloon, and they'd go get a prize. Years past, the core members have done a pie, like pie in the face for Pi Day. They opted not to do that this year, but that's what I mean by those whole school initiatives that are just, they make learning fun. And then, so in addition, as I said, in addition to the 5 to 7 core members, you need a full-time impact manager who manages that relationship at the schoolhouse level. So you're not just getting the core members, you're getting a full-time impact manager, and then the benefit of our impact director and all of our staff who will be spending time training the core and working with the scholars and the teachers. Last slide. According to research by Deloitte, City Year is 78% more cost effective than peer organizations. The cost per team is $135,000. It's estimated that were you to hire single service providers to do everything that we do, it would cost the district $676,000. So we're a worthy investment. We're also on GuideStar. You can trust the investment. We've got an excellent GuideStar rating as a national nonprofit. And that's one of the reasons that I chose to come to work for City Year, because I did my due diligence on that end. Okay, I'm done speaking. I would love to hear from you. What questions do you have for me?
It's per team, so we're looking at 2 teams, correct? So our investment would be 270?
Yes, if that's what you
Just making
want,
sure
that's what we'll get you.
But we preliminarily talked about one team and then rolling up to 2.
So the recommendation, or the request from us would be 1 team.
To start for year 1.
Okay.
And it's a 3-year contract. We're not a one and done. We're not going to come in and abandon you the next year. We want to commit year after year.
That 130, is that per year, or is that one time?
It is per year.
Per year, okay.
And it adjusts for, market inflation a little bit every year.
Uh-oh.
It's not a lot.
A lot of inflation been happening lately.
Dr. Ola has the specifics.
When would you be able to start with us?
We're hoping July 1.
So do you need a motion, or what are you looking for?
I would like it just out of support and moving forward. Transparency, had the opportunity to have core members when I was principal at Fair. And my first year there, we did not have core members and we were in academic distress. By the 3rd year, I think almost the 4th year, Marcia, we were out of academic distress for 9th grade and 10th grade. And I know positively that it was based on the work that City Year core members did with our students, with the one-on-one, the small group push-ins and pull-outs. We definitely know that the work that they did attributed, and not just because of the academic support, but because of the social and emotional, some of the things that they really worked well with with our students is the self-esteem building. And we had a talent show after school, a modeling show. So students you would never think of participating in a modeling show actually participated. And so we saw growth, not just in the classroom, but in each of those students. And so I hope to have support. And that's the reason why we brought it to you all tonight, is so that we could all be at the very top with you all the way down to have full support with this initiative.
Which school are we thinking about starting the first team? And
We would like to, Dr. Walker,
Well, that's probably just looking at starting it at JNPSD.
and then hopefully roll the next team up to JNS.
Thank you. If nobody will say anything else, I would like to make a motion. Okay. I would like to make a motion that we partner with City Year, starting in July.
July 1st.
And at Jacksonville Elementary School.
all right, I've got a motion and a second. And is there any other discussion or questions?
Can I add one thing, Mr. Gray? We have another Mr. Gray here, and I did speak to him, and the Jacksonville Education Foundation are in support moving forward, and he has offered their support in multiple ways. And so we look forward to them partnering with us as well.
I am super excited because I do have, and my godchild went through the AmeriCorps programming, and she is doing wonderful now. She hit a gap year between her bachelor's program and her graduate program, and it made a world of a difference. So I'm super excited to have this opportunity for my students who are in the school. So excited. Thank you so much for bringing it to us.
Yeah, so what's the deadline for implementing it into Team 2? Does it have to be in July, or can it be in August, September, or halfway through a year? Or?
I'm not sure that I would recommend doing it halfway through the year, because we really want to start in the summer building the relationship at the schoolhouse level with the principals and the partner teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I could see, if y'all approve an investment for 2 schools, I could see us committing to one, and based on our recruitment, if we can staff another, we will staff another. And we would know that by, when does BTA start, y'all? We would actually probably know that by July 1.
Well, this is April. We have May and June to
Right.
further discuss that. So we've got a motion on the floor for one school at Jackson Elementary to get started. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously, and I would really seriously challenge us if there's any way to get them in the secondary schools at the middle school. Because I mean, mentoring is a game changer, and I think like middle school was the worst 3 years of my life, and you know that's a tough time, and I think that's where the biggest impact is going to be is at that level. And if we can get them at the middle school sooner rather than later, I think that would be better. So.
We'll work toward that.
I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you
On
all very
behalf
much.
of all of our
Yeah.
core members and my staff, we look forward to working with y'all.
Thank
Yay.
you. That ends the superintendent's report.
All right, very good, sir. Thank you. And you know, while we're kind of on the side, I just want to commend Dr. Owa and the entire district. I want to commend, you know, we've all been through a lot the last few days. I know a lot of our staff, our students don't have power, have had some serious, you know, I've never been through anything like this close up. And it's good to see our city come together and just see all the good that's going on. And I'm proud of us for being open today because, you know, we have power, we have food, and I think we're providing some stability for a lot of our students and scholars and our staff. And I know it's tough. I don't know how attendance was today. I'm sure there was quite a few absences, but I just know, you know, there's a lot of grace out there, and we need a lot of patience. And this isn't just a couple of week thing. This is gonna be a month-long process. And I just, you know, I went to Little Rock yesterday and I saw the devastation off Breckenridge and just this whole Central Arkansas, and I know there's other parts of the state affected too, but it's you know, to have a hit right here at home is it's a big deal, and I'm just proud of us. And but it's going to take some time, and I'm just, you know, I know we're going to be okay. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, consent agenda.
Oh, we still have to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. PPC report.
Ms. Foreman.
Hi, Miss Tammy.
I'm representing the licensed personnel policy committee, and we have been working very hard on coming up with some guidelines for dress code, unifying that across the district. It's been the actual blurb in our handbook is very nondescript, and different people, different locations were at different standards, and so we're trying to bring some uniformity across the district. And so we have hammered out some guidelines, and I believe that y'all have those.
They just have the one from classified.
Oh, you just have the classified. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is in my, well, let me,
Let me see if I can find it.
that is my, I thought y'all had it.
I think Dr. O is going to put it on the screen, maybe.
And,
Is this the correct one?
yes, and so the only difference between theirs and ours was on number 8. But going through, went through, let me back up. In the spring of last school year, we sent out surveys to our staff, our teacher leaders, and they answered anonymously what they wanted to see changes, and a lot of, almost across the district in every building, it was dress code. And so we really took their input and tried to work with Dr. Owa and Dr. Walker and Mr. Lester to compromise. And so what our compromise was,
T-shirts, school-related districts or college shirts can be worn. We, defined what we wanted to see as far as jeans, we conceded to Tuesdays and Fridays.
Thank you.
We, and throw in some professional dress for PD because of that's appropriate. And Hunter's Day, no shorts, unless it's a special event. Dresses and skirts with modest length. No low top. Try to make it sensible, but still spell it out so that we're always going to have people that try to move it. But try to spell it out with low cut blouses, 2-count halters, backless, off the shoulder, no tank tops or shirt dresses, or spaghetti straps, no sweats for warm-ups. The number 8 is the only difference that between the classified and us. They wanted to amend that we, in that approved personnel, just spell out that they wanted SPED, CDI, transitional paras to also have that option for scrubs. They deal with a lot of things that may not, fit, and some other things that you may not want on your body.
And board members, that's the classified handout that you have, that additional one that Ms. Foreman just talked
It's
about.
the certified. Yeah. And so, but we just tried to spell it out so that there would be no confusion among building, from building to building.
I think Ms. Coleman has.
I do. So on number 9, it says the midsection, and I'm a woman, so I just think about, so that's gonna look different on different people, and so trying to word it.
I know this was very difficult for us.
So
we hammered.
I just would think that it would need to be a little bit longer, because on some people, it will maybe show more,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the fit of the leggings.
Right. So we specified leggings may only be worn if the shirt or dress fully covers the backside and the midsection. So we don't want.
But what about in the front? So if it just covers the midsection, and depending on their body type,
Yes,
it may just,
I get what you're
so,
saying.
so it may not, like, it may not cover everything in the front.
In
It
the
may
front.
be covered because things look different in leggings on different people.
Yes, ma'am. And so.
Trying to, no pictures needed. No pictures needed. I would just, it looks, that,
Yes, address the front side.
maybe like a tunic. Maybe we use the word tunic top or tunic length. Because that way it will give you coverage for below the area that may be in question in the front. Well, a tunic top of length. Yeah. Like, well, I don't want to say mid.
Thank you for leading this discussion, but I'm not leading.
Thank you.
This is the stuff we talked about. It
Yeah.
because we all come in great variety of sizes and
Yeah.
shapes, and so and being sensitive to everyone. And so this has been something we've talked extensively about. But I would imagine we would have no problem changing that to a tunic length.
Yeah. This will cover all of God's
Yes.
wonderful people.
Yes.
And then number 10, the no flip flops. Are you saying like no Old Navy flip flops or no flip flops like cute sandal flip flops? It's kind of vague. And I know that like a flip flop to me and a flip flop to my mom are not the same thing.
Yes. We talked about the Old Navy shower shoe flip flop.
That is defined as a flip flop.
That's what we had talked about, and this was a point of contention for me because me personally, I have several cute flip flops that are very sturdy and very tight, but they don't look like an Old Navy shower shoe that I sent my boys to college with.
Is it possible for us to maybe do a fashion show? Maybe doing PD, know, we have a variety of kind of showing
Yes,
and having some visuals for people to,
I think that's a
Refer
fantastic
to.
idea. So we need a little more revision on flip flops.
And we can, Ms. Fulmer, if you don't mind, we can add pictures.
The problem is gonna be for the men. When you say, not the leggings, I don't think you're having a problem on the leggings, but on flip flops, I mean, hey, if y'all wear flip flops, I'm wearing flip flops. My flip flops are flip flops, right?
Yours are
Flip flops, yeah. Oh,
okay, so, for safety reasons, in the building, stairs, all of that, we would ask our scholars and our staff to wear a bag, a strap, something that would secure the shoe. We had custodians on because she had on appropriate footwear. So flip flops, I don't think men usually in slides, athletic slides, we don't allow those either. So, you know,
I'm fine with no flip flops. I think that's what you gotta do.
So
That's
then we go
it.
back to sandal with a bag.
Yeah, I think no flip flops is good. I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Yes. Yes,
I hear that makes a lot of sense.
it does, it does. I'm bringing the feedback that we've gotten back from our staff. And so we can try for it. I mean, all you can tell me is no.
We're gonna revise this and
Yeah.
come back.
So the only revision I think we got is the number 9.
Tunic link, and then number 10 will go back to sandals with a strap.
I just said no, I mean, yeah, no flip flops is fine.
Oh, no flip flops, okay. So all no flip flops.
Or if you wanna put the strap on it, I just restrict it.
Because I'm trying to understand this vague version of flip flop, but we're not referring to this. This is,
That's a
you can't
sandal.
wear this, but this is a non-backward sandal. You can't wear this, right?
we discourage it. Am I gonna do a foot step every day? No, I'm not. So, not with that.
But not every school
That's there.
has theirs.
Yeah.
But a lot of the new elementary schools, so, but in most schools, the floors are very slippery. So if there's anything on that floor, you need to have something that's gonna help steady you. Because if you have a flip flop on and it's just, or something with no back, it doesn't help as your daily, as you're doing your daily job. The
And-
floors are very slippery.
I like, this was something that I said was, they'll only do it one time. Kind of like children, when you bust your honey in front of the dog and everybody, you'll probably rethink your shoe choice, but some people are slow learners. But, so keep it no flip flops. Yeah, yeah, it's sandals with back, no flip flops, so keep the no flip flops.
I think that's good.
Okay, so we'll amend the tunic length top to cover that front.
And that goes back to PPC and it comes to us, or we're not voting on anything tonight, or are we?
You can vote on it based on the stated revisions. And once those are revised, we would be able to implement it for July 1st. This won't go into effect until July 1st.
No, you think that'll be good with your committee? All right, do I hear a motion as discussed?
I make a motion to approve with revisions.
Okay. Got a motion and a second to approve this with revisions to number 9. All right. Number 10 is no flip flops. We're only got this.
Period.
Okay, so that's the motion. Got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Fulmer.
Now, do we have a representative for classified?
No, sir.
No? Do we need to approve that one?
Well, no, if we need to approve that when they come, you can. So they would have to present it to you.
Okay.
So right now, it would stand as what Ms. Foreman presented to you on the license one. So that would be what that.
All right, very good. So the next item I've got on our agenda is a Learns Act update.
Yes, sir.
Saw
So
your article in the paper on Sunday. You were that was very, very good, sir. Well represented.
yeah, they left someone out. So.
All right, I'm sure there'll be more coming.
But good evening again, board members. I did want to tell you that, of course, there were several parts to the Learns Act, but I think a board workshop, if you all do not mind, would aid us well to discuss a due process policy because as of now, well, starting July 1st, the Teacher First Dismissal and the Public School Employee Act are no longer in place after June 30th. And so each district will have to have a due process policy in place. And so I would like, if possible, to have a workshop to discuss that. Also, salary schedule, and this may be getting ahead, is a proposed salary schedule there. And you have a proposed salary schedule so that once you have reviewed this salary schedule, it's not up for approval tonight. It's so that I can have meetings with the licensed PPC and the classified PPC this week to also get their input. But I think after we receive their input, it definitely would be a great idea to have that part of the work session. And then as well as the other component, I think that will be up for discussion is the paid maternity leave. That's, we can opt in or not. But I think to be fair to all of our staff members, we would need to discuss that.
And we can probably also discuss some proposals from WER and Baldwin Shell on some track things. I'm sure we'll discuss.
I love those work studies, but are you going to give us templates of recommendations prior to this meeting?
Yes, sir. So I can, per your request, I can draft a due process policy. You can tell me if you would like for me to draft a copy because it's part of, it would be part of Section 3 and 8, the licensing classified. Both PPCs will have to view it. So I can have it ready for them to view this week so that when we get to the work session, you all will have their comments. We can do that. And then as well as the salary schedule, we have a few, Mr. Gray asked to have some options. I have the one that's in your packet. That one covers the amount that we're going to be given from the state, which is a little over 1.5 million. And that's raising the 36,000 to 50,000 and then giving the $2,000 for everyone above 50,000. Actually, it's everyone above 48,000 in addition to their salary. That's on the salary schedule. So we would have those options as well, those salary schedule options as well.
And that's a one-time $1.5 million.
Well,
continuing.
We were told that it will continue, but there has not been any funding passed as of yet. And so that's the concern that I have is that we're making changes, and that's a requirement for us to have it in place by July 1st. But at this point in the legislative session, a bill has not been brought forward to fund the Learns Act.
And the $2,000 is not that is a one-time bonus. That is not a actual raise.
Well, we were told it would be for the language is for the 2 or 3 years, for at least 2 or 3 years, and then we would know what would continue after that third year.
Okay. Well, let's everybody pull out your calendars, and Monday nights are usually good. My request would be, or how's the 24th look for y'all this month? Okay. Okay. Yeah, why don't we do 5:30 or 6? 5:30 on the 24th. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have all the information.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be reminded of this.
Yes, sir. I may have a new, oh, wait, never mind.
All right,
We'll-
all right, good to go? We'll
Yes, sir.
Tell her to schedule some more here in just a second, I think.
Yes, sir.
All right, consent agenda. There's minutes for the March 6th, Assistant Superintendent's reports, and then also the financial report. Those are in your packets that were mailed out. Any discussion on any of that stuff needs to be pulled down? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Revised FY 24 salary schedule proposal is an addendum. Is there an addendum to that? Or is there a change to the one that was emailed out to us?
It was added to the
It's in,
agenda. That's what it's on there.
Okay.
yeah, but it's in your pocket.
It's in our
packet.
packet?
Yeah.
I saw one. It was different than one. Okay. Okay. This is big card stuff. All right,
On page 26.
so you need, do we need to approve that?
No, it's just, I mean, if you can review it and give me some marching orders for the work session, what, you've already shared.
So, I mean, it is basically the bare minimum legal, what we have to do. It cost us 1.6, something like that million, or doesn't cost us, this is what the state is covering.
The state should cover this.
But it just covers basically years 1 through 14, changing the schedule. The rest of the schedule is the same as what we have previously approved, right, plus $2,000.
Plus 2,000 will be on top of what you have in front of you.
So
Anything above 50,000.
As we can see, a teacher in our district, year 1 through 14 is making the same amount with no increase at all. And I just don't think, personally, I don't think that's sustainable for the teaching profession forever. So I would like us to explore some options of some steps starting at 50 and actually stepping it. Well, I know we can't do what we've always done at the 500, but maybe it's 100. I don't know. I'd like to see some numbers on it and costs.
Currently, for the range, it's 624. So going across for bachelor's, master's, bachelor's 12, bachelor's 24, master's, there's 624, and then step increase for the number of years in the profession is $572.
Yeah, so just be ready. This is what we're talking about tonight is that's what we got to do. That's the law. So I think that's a good place to start with EPC, and then as we start talking, the workshop will help us as a board. Because I mean, it's all about money. If we change it to, that's out of our own pocket, and then what are we giving up to do that?
Right. That's definitely because, and that's the double-edged sword is that we want to be fair and consistent, fair across the board with teachers and other professionals who stay with the district, but it's what we can afford in the middle of building 2 new school buildings and the other costs. And just so you'll know, 80% of our operating fund is salaries. Well, a little bit above 80%. That is our operating fund, salaries and benefits. And so.
Very good. All right, so I think, so we don't need to vote on that.
No.
Okay. All right, any other questions, or everybody good with that? Come prepared to talk on the 24th?
Mm-hmm.
All right, IT assets.
Of course, as we've done in the past, the following assets are being recommended for the deletion from inventory based on law. We have to have board approval before we remove those from our assets. And those items are no longer useful, and so we're requesting approval for those deletions.
All right. Got a motion and a second to approve the deletions as recommended by Dr. Ola. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Item number 7, rezone.
Yes, last month you all voted to rezone the segment of JES to Merle Taylor to even out the enrollment as much as possible based on the new projection. What we did not also include, we were recommending, if you turn to page 34 of your packet, the top part that says 29 scholars to the right of the page, and it has a few dots, I believe, is running up 67, 167 is to the right of that at the very top. Those students, it says 29 scholars, those students are currently zoned for biometa. We thought that it would be better to have those students report to, be assigned to JES, which is the closest school, than having to bus them to biometa, which is a longer bus drive, and also based on where they currently live, parents are now having to drive all the way to 107 versus driving to JES, which is right down the street from them. And so we're requesting to rezone that area into JES since we've moved already a significant number of students from JES to Merle Taylor. And that's the request.
I got a motion to approve that recommendation, and I heard a second. Any questions or discussion? Please don't be having discussion. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, personnel, classified contract review.
I'm so sorry. Before we go into this, if we go into executive session, I want to ask, Tammy, I have a quick question. I was just looking at this, and I'm sorry, it didn't even hit me. Where it says no shorts and no sweatpants, does that apply to coaches too? I believe the coaches are not all wearing sweatpants.
There's another definition in there that.
Yeah, they, based on their roles within the school, like coaches and like cafeteria, based on their particular roles, they have a different set of guidelines. Yeah, based on their active roles. Yeah. So coaches you will see coaches in shorts.
Well, I know that I've seen some before in big sweats and whatever, and they just, I don't know, sometimes look sloppy. Anyone in sweats sometimes looks sloppy, so I just wondered.
Okay, personnel, classified contract renewals.
Okay, well, we got an addendum here. Is there a-
Let's see here. Yes, we do. Thank you, sir. So we've got an addendum. I've got 2 names on the addendum. We need to make sure we get on the approved for the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve this addendum to the personnel.
All right, all those in favor? All right, that has been added to the original personnel recommendation. All right, is there any need for discussion on personnel? If so, it would need to be held in executive session. If not, I would turn it over to Dr. Owa.
Yes, based on the report that you have in front of you, we definitely recommend the following hires, as well as licensed, classified, the resignations, approval of the job abandonments, and then the renewal of the classified. And bittersweet, definitely would like to recommend the hire of our new HR director, Mrs. Erica Logan, as well. So that we recommend approval of the personnel report.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're still gonna call you.
All right, so next item we've got is student disciplinary actions. Do we have any hearings?
No hearings, but you do have
We have
packets.
uncontested, oh, there is.
Well, they're on
I will say
the
that.
devices.
Okay. All right,
We have to get a new Erica.
all right, we've got is everybody able to access their student disciplinary actions in the folder slowly? The Wi-Fi is not as good down on that side.
Mr. Kirk, can you come help with the phone?
Well, I shouldn't say, I could see them, but when I clicked on it, student number one. All right, regarding student number one, do I hear a motion?
Second.
Get a motion and a second to uphold the superintendent's recommendation for expulsion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Student number two.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for student number two.
All right, we have a motion and a second for student number two. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Student number three.
Make a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation for student number 3.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Student number 3, recommendation passes unanimously. Student number 4.
Make a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation for student number 4.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passes unanimously. 5.
Make a motion to hold the superintendent's recommendation for student number 5.
Motion and a second for student number 5 to uphold that recommendation. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Student number 6.
Make a motion to approve superintendent's recommendation for student number 6.
All right, got a motion and a second for student number 6 to uphold the recommendation from the superintendent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Student number 7.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for student number 7.
All right, got a motion? I've got a second for student number 7 to uphold that recommendation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Student number 8.
Make a recommendation to approve the superintendent's recommendation for student number 8.
Second.
All right, get a motion and a second for student number 8 to uphold that recommendation. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passes unanimously. That concludes our student disciplinary actions. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. So I hear a motion to adjourn. Anyone?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.